Hey guys, it's Nathan again from TrueFire, and it's time for another episode of Licks We Love. Each week will feature a set of must-see licks video lessons across various genres and skill levels. The tab, notation, and jam tracks are all available for free at TrueFire via the links in the description. Ready to get started? This episode is all about the blues. Grab your guitar and let's dig in. Today's first lick is called Straight Ahead Blues, from Tom Wolfe's 50 Hard Bop Blues Licks You Must Know.
Lick number 19 is called the Straight Ahead Blues Lick. We're going to introduce you to the use of the blue third resolving to the major third and using chromaticism to create a very hip, very swinging line. So join me as we look at that lick now. This lick is a very simple lick. I just call it the straight ahead blues, and it's really utilizing something that is important to jazz also, and that's the use of chromaticism. Chromaticism is basically going one note at a time, one fret at a time, and creating a half-step connection. So that kind of half step going from the flatted third to the major third to the four to the sharp four or flat five to the natural five. It creates that really neat, remember I mentioned earlier in one of the earlier licks, tension and release. Tension, release, tension, release, tension, and release. And it fits over the changes, even though we're in the key of C blues and I'm playing notes that may not fit, you might think, in a C chord. It works very well. So nice and slow. Take a listen. 2, 3, 4. Little ornamentation. So that little hammer pull-off, that's a very common ornamentation in bebop and any kind of jazz. So take a listen a little bit quicker. It's got a hip sound there too. 1, 2, 3, and... And you'll notice that when I get higher is when I'm really kind of doing those accents because I'm reaching the peak of that line and then it starts back down on the descending line. So listen again. 1, 2, 3, and... Hear that? Putting that accent. What am I accenting? I'm accenting the fifth, which is a very plain and obvious tone of the chord, so it helps bring it and center it in the harmony. A little faster. 1, 2, 3, and... So it's got a hip sound, whether it's slow, whether it's fast. If you're doing it a little slower, maybe use some articulation and separate the notes. So some articulation, some separation, some long tones. It's up to you as you're the musical improviser. You're speaking this language. You can choose, but you need to understand the subtleties of what it can do. And it takes time. That's what shedding is about. So one more time, medium tempo. Watch my fingers and watch my pick strokes. I'm using all down and up strokes in this. 1, 2, 3, and... And you'll notice my last stroke is a downstroke because I want to accent that note. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there you go. It's a very standard kind of chromatic blues lick, but very effective. So have some fun with this.
Our second lick is called A Minor Cliche, from Parris's 50 Country Fried Blues Licks You Must Know.
Lick number 6 is A Minor Cliche. It's a stab at the classic minor cliche with fingerstyle elements, and it makes it nice and funky for the blues. Enjoy. Okay, this is the A minor cliche, and it's based on that descending pattern, famous descending pattern, A minor, minor with the major 7, minor 7, and A minor 6. I'm playing it here over the 4 chord, D minor, where it actually has that going on. But when I get to the 1 chord, it's just static A minor, and this lick still works over that. I'm superimposing that harmony over a static minor chord. So the first part, that little triplet, and then I bring it down to A minor. And in between, I'm doing bluesy statements before to set it up. Let me slow that down for you in A minor one more time. It's a great way to get like fingerstyle and jazz harmony going into your blues.
Our next lick is called Hey Kenny Baby, from David Hamburger's 50 Jazz Blues Licks You Must Know.
This is lick number 3, Hey Kenny Baby, and we're playing over the first 4 bars of a slow blues in B flat. And this is inspired by some of the playing of Kenny Burrell, especially from his 50s and 60s period, and it's a great example of how to play double time when the tempo is slower. So let's try it out. 2, 3, 4. We're playing on a slow blues in B flat, playing over the first 4 bars of the form. And this lick is mostly double time. And we start off right down here. And it's in the style of Kenny Burrell, but that's B.B. King, Buddy Guy. They all play that kind of stuff. And so we're starting off here with in this shape. We got the root, hammering onto the major 3rd, over to the 5th, 6, root, and back to the hammer-on. Then we go up and we take it over to E flat with a similar kind of sound, just transposing up. And that's just spelling out E flat 7 there, sliding into the 3rd, walk it up to the 7th, 3, 2, 1, 5. So that's all just E flat Mixolydian stuff. And then back to B flat. And then we're going to take this line and watch that go up as part of the lick. That's the 4th, the flat 5. And then this is really, it doesn't have to be super clean. What you're doing is you're hammering on from the 3rd to the 4th, sliding to the 5th, sliding to the flat 5, and then the 5. And that's getting you into this big, long F minor 7 lick. That's the 2 of the 5 of the E flat we're going to eventually land on. Root, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, 7, 9 of F minor. And then we walk it down. Now we're kind of in this position. 9. That's coming straight down a F Dorian scale. 9, root, flat 7, 6, 5, 4, flat 3. And then we've made it to E flat with another lick that's just this kind of stuff transposed up. Slide into major 3rd, root, flat 7, and you've arrived.
Next up, we have Snake Drive, from Steve Travato's 50 Voodoo Blues Licks You Must Know.
This is lick number 8. I call it Snake Drive. What I love about this lick is it's got a 5-fret bend in it, which is pretty tricky and challenging to play. Let's give it a listen. 1, 2. All right, so let's break this one down. We're in the 7th position. We're playing in the key of G. So here's what it sounds like without the track. 1, 2, 3. So, as you can see, there's a huge 5-step bend in this, and the pickup is on 4 and it's E on the 3rd string and then G on the 2nd. So 1, 2, 3. And then on the beat of 1 on the 2nd measure, you're going to grab a B flat on the 2nd string. I use my 3rd finger. I'm going to support that bend with my 2nd and 1st fingers, and I'm going to bend. Okay, so I'm bending actually to this D. So what I would do, what I usually do is I play the D on the 1st string. That gives me the note that I need to bend to. And so I then match the pitch with the bend. And as you can see, I'm bending bending almost to the end of the neck here, to the edge of the neck. It's a wide bend, and so of course lighter strings would facilitate this one. So after I bend it up, then I release it. And then the next part of the lick is going to be on string 2, pull off from B flat to G, and then go down and pull off on the 3rd string from E to D. So from the top, 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3. So we left off at the pull off from E to D. Now, for the last part of this first lick, we're going to go up to F natural on this 3rd string and bend up to G. And I add some vibrato at the top of that bend. So the second half of this lick is simply a rhythmic phrase starting on string 3. So I'm going to play F, E, D on the 3rd string. Now, what I do is I slide first up to the F, then come back and play the E and the D. And then I go down to the 4th string and do the same thing on B flat, A, and G. Now, and the last part is just E back to G. Here's what it sounds like, the second half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. And once more, the entire lick, intact, without the backing tracks. 1, 2, 3.
Our final lick in this episode is called Queen of Spades, from Mike Zito's 30 Blues Americana Licks You Must Know.
Lick number 2 I call Queen of Spades. We're in the key of A, continuing with the shuffle. And let's check it out. Nice little chord lick here. So what we're working with here is another Robert Johnson style lick. Again, like I said, from the made famous from the song Little Queen of Spades. This is my own kind of take on it, and this is a very famous lick. Okay, this is a little C sharp diminished triad being played over A, right? Which you've probably already learned. It's the famous intro to Red House by Jimi Hendrix. So let's just look here at this lick. What I'm doing is I'm playing it over that, like the idea here is you can take this triad and go. That's what we're working with right here. You can finger pick it. You can, which is what I'm doing. I'm actually taking my thumb and both my fingers and pulling all at once. And I'm doing a half step slide onto the 9th fret. I've already got the chord formed on the 8th fret, but really I'm not going, which you could do. I mean, that's a whole other lick. I'm just sliding into. And right there, playing a little B minor triad. And then this is an A minor triad. And I'm just hammering on the 3rd. So what you have is those are the 3 chord changes that we're using, and then it's just the rhythm and the dynamics and the feel over the music though. I mean, the backing track is changing and going to the 4, so I'm going to the 4 with it. But the actual lick here is. And again, if you take this lick and work it, you can play this in a slow blues. You can play this in any key. You could completely change the rhythm. I mean, you could play it funk. You could play it rock. This is a great lick to have in your arsenal. And you can thank Robert Johnson for that one.
And that does it for this week's Licks We Love. I hope you enjoyed the free lessons, and be sure to subscribe and tune in next week for even more. Don't forget to click the links in the description to pick up the tab and notation. And if you haven't already, just a reminder that you can join TrueFire for free and get a 14-day free trial of all access. No credit card required and no strings attached. Come ignite your playing with TrueFire. Practice smart, play hard.